Why in today's world are our guts in such bad shape?
Well, they're in such bad shape because you've lost half of the bacteria, and that's because of various situations that have arisen, including antibiotics, caesarean birth, processed food, over-disinfecting, not actually doing any exercise, and all of those things have effectively destroyed our biome, so that about half of the bacteria that were there have now disappeared in the last sort of 80 years. So if you put that analogy to a garden, which I always find is a nice way of explaining it, if you're gardening your crop properly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid the harmful bacteria establishing and going into bloom so that they would kill the good bacteria. So that would be weeds overtaking your crop.
But the thing is, it's the same with the gut. As long as there's more good than bad, then it's fine.
Yeah.
So what's your story about?
Well, it's a story of serendipity, really. I was farming and I was uncomfortable with very poor quality foods that were going into animals. So what we did was we germinated grain to feed to the animals, and to make that grain preserved, we used probiotics to preserve it. So originally all we were trying to do was to give shelf life to a germinated grain, and from that came a whole new technology which took probiotics to a new level.
When did you realise that the probiotics you were using in the feed was actually benefiting the animals?
Well, it was farmers that found out first, myself on calf units, and then some very big poultry farmers found out that it worked, and particularly interesting was the pig farmers, because that's the species that's closest to humans.
So did you just have like a light bulb moment thinking, if it can work in animals, surely it can work in humans as well?
No, we were aware of that for a very long time. When vets said to me, look, you've got to take this to people, I had to say I spent 15 years trying to get farmers to understand it. They're not going to do it because they wait for the animal to be sick and then try and resolve the problem.
Same in humans?
It's same in humans.
How much bacteria does one shot of SYMPROVE have in it?
Okay, well, firstly you have to remember you can't see the bacteria. They are 0.003 microns, so it's a tiny, tiny thing. But the amazing thing is if you line them up nose to tail, all my little friends, a single shot will go for 30 kilometres.
That's mad!
Yeah, it is very exciting. The numbers are enormous, and it's about being able to harness that power.
So basically all that good stuff is going back into our system, trillions of them.
Yeah, I think it will gradually become common practice over the next decade, where people realise that they could be looking after their own health rather than waiting on a system that is an emergency after the event. But that's a way off yet, as people learn how to use this technology.
One little shot, and who doesn't like a shot?
There you go.
Shot, 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 shot. One farmer, thousands of people, changing the world, Barry. Trillions of bacteria.